Can I just say something about the Goonies before we even start?
No.
My mic's even. What the fuck?
Is it positive or negative?
There's a scene in the Goonies
Okay.
where
I don't remember the Goonies all that well, but
there's a scene in the Goonies where
come on.
where the main guy's older brother's girlfriend starts making out with him, and he's like 13 and she's 15 or 16. Whatever, but it's his brother's girlfriend, and she's like, she's talking to her friend. She's like, I'm gonna finally kiss my boyfriend. She kisses the little brother. I'm like, Steven Spielberg, what are you doing? What is this shit? And yeah, that's all I have to say about the Goonies.
That was it?
Yeah, dude. Well, 'cause we were just talking about in Revenge of the Nerds
How
a character rapes a girl in Revenge of the Nerds.
I was like, did you like literally just like watch the Goonies before we got
No.
here? And then you're like, hey, fuck the Goonies.
No, that was
like,
just a weird thing I noticed watching the Goonies.
I don't remember much from the Goonies.
Remember the Truffle Shuffle? What about One-Eyed Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get it now.
And they go,
I never got that.
and then they're getting chased in the sewers by like the government or some shit. Great.
That and then they have Sloth.
Yeah, Sloth. He likes Babe Ruth.
I was so scared of Sloth when I was a kid.
He's awesome.
God. That's what made me afraid of retarded
Look.
people. I'm kidding.
It's a good movie, but I disagree with a girl's first kiss being with a 13-year-old boy when she thought it was going to be his older brother.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it's pretty wacky.
I don't know why they put that in.
Anyway, Goonies is a really good movie.
In Revenge of the Nerds, he rapes the girl.
Yeah.
The nerd rape, that's the revenge. He rapes her.
That's like the whole point is that he rapes her.
No. That's just like one scene in the movie where she's like, "You're my boyfriend, right?" And he just nods and they fuck.
Yeah, he's wearing like a Darth Vader mask
Yeah.
or something, right?
He's wearing some kind of mask and she's like, "Yeah, you're my boyfriend," and then fucks him. And then he just like does it and he's like, "Well, can't tell about that to anyone or I'll get arrested."
Well, now you would.
Either way, you want to intro us in?
I'll intro you.
You gonna do it or not?
Yeah. So, welcome. Welcome back for some of you. Welcome to the first comers. Come.
The first comers club.
This is the podcast called The First Comers Club, where we reminisce about the time we first ejaculated or cummed.
When we first
And that is all we do on this podcast. My co-host is Tyler.
Hello.
First time he came was in the boys' locker room when the locker accidentally brushed against the tip of his dick and he ejaculated in his
instantly.
underwear. Yeah.
Instantly. In front of everyone, all my friends.
Yeah. I have a special guest, Jeremiah. If I remember correctly, the first time he came was riding a horse.
Was he's a woman now?
I broke my hymen and came all over the horse.
Yeah.
Jeremiah's a fine lady.
Yeah.
I'm actually a.
Choose your words carefully.
I have both genitals.
Oh.
What is that? That's not androgynous.
It's a two. No.
Indigenous.
That's not the indigenous peoples. That's intersex. Right? Or am I wrong? I think it's intersex.
I think you're wrong.
You're wrong.
What's intersex?
You're stupid.
I think intersex is like
No gender?
Yeah, kind of like where it's like they wake up one morning and they're like, I'm a boy, and then they wake up the next morning and they're like, I'm not a boy, and then
I don't know. One of them, there is a word that for both, having both.
yeah, it's like a real thing, like,
It's insanely rare, but yeah, it's a real thing.
and I have it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time Jeremiah came was when his dick fell in his pussy. And he was like, "Whoa, this is why people like sex." And he had a double orgasm.
just 4 years old,
So
just like playing with all that
fluid
down
came
there.
out. Both fluids came out.
That's insane.
Impregnated myself.
I don't think you actually have those people have a uterus though.
No, they just have the thing, but they don't. Inside they're one sex, but on the outside they have both. It's weird.
It's pretty wacky. Kind of wish I was one of those.
You wish you had a pussy?
Well, I do have a butthole,
Right.
so I could just finagle it.
All right. Well, I don't know where you're getting at.
I don't know.
Just like wrap it around.
Yeah.
If you have a long enough penis, you can put it in your own butthole. But
I think if you dream hard enough, you can put it in your own butthole. You just gotta really believe.
I don't know.
I don't
know.
Your dick would have to be soft when it's hard though. To get
You,
that.
you need to
curve.
get yourself a half chub.
Right.
Get yourself a half chub. Don't get too horny. Like get horny, but then remember you're putting it in your own butt, and then it might droop down a little bit.
We always
It's
say
gonna be like a situation where you get like medium horny, and then you gotta like clench your butt cheeks together to hold it in. And it's like I'm
Right.
clenching on my own dick, and then I get soft, and then you like jammed up there, and then you're like, yeah, that feels
One
pretty
time-
good. Like,
One time my friend said he did that, like, jokingly.
Yeah.
So now every time there's a girl, we're like, hey, John, remember that time you fucked your own asshole?
Nice.
He's like, shut up, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't do that. I have a friend who will.
True fake story.
I have a
But
friend
it's
who
true.
every time, like, on more than one occasion. Now, with lots of groups of friends, it can sometimes be funny when he'll just decide to bring up my sexual history as part of conversation, and it'll be in front of people who like we barely know. I'm like, all right, thank you for that. But like one time, I was just hanging out with a girl that I was literally trying to date, and it was just the three of us, and he just would not. And I was like, dude, all right, come. I was like, stop. I'm like giving him the signal, like, no. I've already talked to her. I know what she's like. She probably doesn't hear all this shit. Then he just starts talking about stuff. I'm like, all right, you can die now.
Dead to me.
I didn't. She's not even that cool, but it was just like, dude, why? Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Don't do that to your friends.
I do that to my friend.
Don't talk about
Because he said he fucked his
stuff.
own butthole.
Well,
so.
that's kind of funny.
It is really funny.
It's kind of funny.
It's really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about it, we don't even need women.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, we don't need them technically, but they're here. So I don't know. I don't know what you want from me.
So, they're so annoying.
Stop. Women can't live with them, can't live with them. I need to put in that clip from that Sick Animation song now. Where he says, this is my dick. It's free to the world. Free to every boy, and free to every boy.
This dick is free, it's my gift to the world. Free to every boy, free to every boy.
Free to every boy. Free
Did
to
you finally
every
listen
boy.
to it?
No, I forgot about it.
I love that.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah. That's my man, Mark M. Sick Animation.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, my other man. Darth Luke Skywalker.
Joker.
Yeah, I was getting it confused with Joker. I was like, he's the villain of Star Wars.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's a cool guy.
He's pretty,
I liked his role in episode 8, despite
a
not really
Chad.
liking that movie that much.
Mark Hamill's a Chad.
Yeah, he's pretty baller.
Yeah.
You want to finally talk about the elephant in the room? We have to do it.
Her name's Robert.
Yeah?
And she's really cute.
Okay.
Cute, big old elephant that I ride.
Why'd you name her Robert?
Because I think that's a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about Donald Trump, though?
Donald, what? How does it go?
Donald Trump, that's his name.
Don.
Donald J. Trump.
oh, you trying to do the song?
Yeah.
Gays for Donald?
No, wait, maybe.
What song?
I think I can't remember who it's by.
Song about...
It's like fuck Trump or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, maybe I was thinking about gays for Donald.
Gays for Donald. While he's trying to get rid of their right to marry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he lost today.
No, he didn't.
Well, really, he lost like days ago.
No, he didn't.
I think we all knew Biden was going to win on day 2.
Dude, he won.
Day 2 of the election. Actually, on day 0, I thought it was pretty obvious Biden was going to win. but then
Bro,
I really thought Biden was like no chance of winning. Like
really, you
Just-
thought I wasn't gonna win?
like pretty much from the time
I mean,
they like pushed everyone but Bernie out, and then Bernie was the only one.
he's
And I was like, they're gonna push Bernie out,
yeah,
and then Biden's gonna lose, and they're gonna blame Bernie,
Yeah.
just like they did
just
last
like they did with
time.
Hillary.
did you like that meme I sent you about Bernie?
I forgot.
I forgot it too.
It was like, I don't
Where's
know.
Bernie?
Oh yeah, where's Bernie? Yeah, it's like no one's happy about Biden. There's a lot of memes I'm seeing of if it's like a frowny face when it's like when I think Biden wins, and then it's like, but then I remember Trump lost, and they smile. Yeah, we're Bernie.
Where Bernie?
We just want Bernie Sanders, guys.
It says Trump supporters, no, it's rigged. Biden supporters, count every vote. The rest of the world, and it's 3 orangutans sitting at a table, and one says, "Where Bernie?"
All right,
We need socialized healthcare in America.
we're not going to get it under Biden, but we might get something better than we have now. And then hopefully people go, hey, this actually sucks. Just give us socialized healthcare now.
No, they're gonna be like, "Take us back to our private insurance," because they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate private insurance. It's a fucking.
I have no idea why people pretend they like. There's literally no argument for it other than socialism doesn't work.
No.
They never actually say a good benefit of private
People-
insurance. They always just say socialism just doesn't work.
People say it incentivizes.
Incentivizes doctors to prescribe you prescriptions and stuff.
No, it incentivizes advancements in medicine, but I think
No, it doesn't.
the government does that already, like a lot.
I don't think it.
I think
don't
most
it
of our
in-
tax dollars does that anyway.
When you
I don't think. You know, most times. Okay, so like the only way you can get like a certain benefit from the government, is with like making medication and pills and stuff, is if you like actually make a change to it. And basically, what happens is that each however many years or whatever, they just like make baby changes. And like the drugs actually don't change at all. They're just like, it does this. It's slightly little bit different now, and that way they still get their perks. So,
And also-
I mean, it's just fucking bullshit.
Pharmaceutical companies.
And then they charge more and more every time too.
Pharmaceutical companies can price the drug however they want.
Yeah, and because of price fixing, which is what happens when capitalism is unregulated, they just keep increasing the prices, and people just have to pay for it. They have no say in the
Yeah,
matter.
because the insurance companies can't argue with the
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies.
So, well, what happens in other countries, the government's like, no, we're not paying that because it's socialized there. But here, instead, what they do is the doctor will get, if you don't have insurance, the hospitals will charge you insane prices. And if you do have insurance, there's like deals made with the medication and the insurance companies, so that way the insurance companies don't have to pay as much as the regular people. So it's literally rigged against us. Like, you have to have insurance or else you will not survive. So it's a horribly corrupt bullshit system. It's very obvious. It's for-profit healthcare.
Did I tell you what my hospital and ambulance bill was?
No.
Can we guess?
Yeah.
I am gonna say $1,300 to $1,400.
You just tell me.
Okay, so altogether it was $2,800.
Holy fuck.
The hospital was $2,000,
Okay, yeah.
and the ambulance was $860. That's no insurance.
Yeah.
But because I was so fucked, I did not have my insurance card on me, and I could not remember it for the life of me because I was very high at the time, obviously. So
Which
I
is
put
also dumb, but yeah.
So that's ridiculous. That's how much a poor person would pay.
Yeah.
That they can't afford.
Mhm.
So they would rather just die at home.
Or if you just have a bad insurance plan that doesn't really cover that anyway, then.
But so I had to fix that because I'm not paying $800 or $2,800.
Yeah. You get it sorted out, or
I sent him my insurance information.
Right.
Information.
Right.
I haven't gotten the bill back yet.
Yeah. Hopefully they just are like, yeah, whatever. But
And you're still gonna have to pay a deductible too.
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
thing.
as long as it takes some of that off.
Yeah, much more. willing to pay, $150, then
I'm more willing to pay more taxes. And then just go to the hospital.
well, it wouldn't even be more tax. It would be like basically the same.
Right. It would be
that you
barely
pay.
any. Yeah.
Yeah, like my parents pay what I think $500 a month.
500. They actually pay themselves for insurance or what?
Well, it goes through the company.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think the company takes it out.
Yeah, because I have to pay for my insurance. And it's like, yeah, it would literally just be cheaper to pay more in taxes
Mm-hmm. And
for me, not for everyone in the whole world, but
right. And my dad was like, it wouldn't be more expensive than $500 a month
no,
for socialized healthcare.
no, absolutely not.
No,
And
because everyone's paying into it.
right, and it would be depending on how much you make, would change how much you pay for it too. So it's
If we did incremental tax brackets,
Yeah.
which really needs to happen.
But people make the argument like in Canada you have to wait.
that's not even true.
It's not. It's only
That's
for
literally just I don't know where that came from.
it's for
it's-
specialists.
It's like a random anecdotal evidence thing.
It's like to go
that
see
just
a.
became a thing one day.
It's like to go see an optometrist or.
What?
Oncologist or something?
Like for
not
your
even
back, like
like a chiropractor?
Yeah.
Like, not even like real medical
it's for
shit?
it's like for specialists.
Right, so that's not even. I mean,
Not-
that's cool that that's covered for them, I guess. But yeah, that's not even what
It's
we're
not
talking
even.
about.
It's not even.
Yeah.
Wait times for
First of
hospitals
all,
are.
Wait times here are not that. They're fucking terrible anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck they're even talking about.
I mean, it's like they're pretty much the same wait times
There's
at
no way it's
hospitals and
worse.
doctors. Specialists take longer to get into because they're not necessary.
Right.
Yeah. Like, so with you have a really good example with your thumb.
Yeah.
You waited a fair amount of time to get into see a doctor
Yeah.
in the ER with your
No.
thumb, bleeding all
I-
over the place.
I only had service from nurses when I first went. And then I went back again at night to have a doctor fuck with it.
Yeah.
Well,
It sucked.
that my dad gave an example of how somebody was complaining about Canadian healthcare. So this woman went to the doctor thinking she had cancer. The doctor said, "No, you probably don't have cancer,
Yeah.
but I'll order a CT scan just in case." She had to wait 3 months for this CT scan. Turns out she doesn't have cancer like the doctor fucking said. She's like, "Why did I have to fucking wait so long for a CT scan?"
Yeah.
Because the doctor, the doctor thought you had cancer, he would have bumped you up.
Yeah.
But since the doctor seriously thinks you don't have cancer, why would he push you through
Yeah.
when there are more important people to get CAT scans for?
A big part of what would help too is relieving student debt, because medical doctors a lot of times will be in student debt up until their mid 40s,
Yeah.
which is crazy because they make 6 figures a year. That's insane.
Have you ever seen a graph of student for tuition costs?
It spikes really high in the
It's
90s, right?
It's in the 90s, it's down here, and then 2000 it just goes
Yeah.
up. It literally just goes straight up.
And there's no way out of it.
Yeah.
You're just
And
stuck
why
that way.
why do you pay $40,000 to go to
It's-
school?
You can't.
What is the point?
Well, that's
Or
in the
what is
Midwest.
this right? What is the school using that for?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean,
They do not need that much money.
They're using that to pay for bullshit that doesn't need to be paid for.
yeah. Well, you pay all that, and then you just have to buy your own shit anyway. You have to buy all the books and all the supplies and all that. So, yeah,
And you have to pay for your own food
It's
and
just-
your housing.
it's
and-
literally just hurdles to keep certain people out and keep certain people in. That's the difference.
and it makes the people who own the school a lot of money.
Biden is talking a lot about getting rid of student loan debt, reversing what he did with the bankruptcy bill, and because you can't file bankruptcy on student loans because of the bankruptcy bill. He's just gonna reverse what he did in the 90s.
That's fucking.
Yeah. It doesn't. You can file for bankruptcy for anything but student loan debt.
But that's usually the highest amount of debt you'll accumulate in
Yeah.
your life.
But you're just
Except
you're just
for
stuck that way.
corporate debt, which is probably what it was written for. Is
Yeah.
Biden's? Does anyone know who Biden? All senators have their super PACs and shit. Who are his?
I don't know from back then.
Yeah, I'm sure they've because he's been a politician.
I used to
since,
know.
like, 19.
I used to know some of the
70.
Obama people back in like the 2000s, but I have no idea right now.
Super PACs are awful.
Yeah.
It's literally just legal bribery.
Yeah.
Because they can pay an infinite amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? There's no, like...
Yeah, that's what Citizens United is, which is a very just misleading name. Citizens United means that any corporation can pay as much as they want.
Because usually when you donate a campaign, they have like a cap.
Yeah.
Not for corporations. If you get a super PAC, they can donate as much money as they want and be like, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
For $40 million, make it so that every time someone buys our product, they have to pee in my mouth.
Obama lost funding during his second term when he started like saying some of his opinions. He was like, no, I'm not going to do this or that. And he started losing funding for his super PACs.
Good.
And it's like, well, he already won. It's the second time, so I don't think he needs it. But
yeah. Well, Bernie...
But like, it's bad. It's just fucked up that you can be like a puppet for a lobbyist or a corporation or something.
Bernie has always been against lobbyists and super PACs.
Yeah, he doesn't have a super PAC. He never had one.
Which is why the DNC wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, he also when people say he's not a real Democrat, it's because he ran on it as an independent and won in Vermont as an independent. And in order to become a Democrat, he had to give money to the DNC.
Which is a corporation.
Yes, which is a corporation.
Has its own rules that doesn't follow.
Right.
Actually, it was this year they determined that they don't have to follow like federal laws with an election.
Yeah, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
So that's how they were able to because
last time they got in trouble.
People,
they got in trouble for basically picking their own candidate and not listening to the people.
Yeah.
Well,
and then this time they're like, hey, if push comes to shove, we're not just letting you guys know, we're just gonna do it again.
Which is, they did.
Well,
I think
Biden still won fair and square, but not exactly fair and square.
I think
there was some meddling. But
4 years of Biden being president, our biggest goal should be.
He's probably going to be president for 8 years, but
redo. I don't know if he'll live that long.
I don't think he'll live that long.
I guess that's true.
I don't think Trump will live that long.
Yeah, neither of those guys are doing well. Like, you don't look at them and be like, oh man,
Joe. I know, but I mean,
senior powerlifter.
He does have the most. He will have the most advancements in medicine at his disposal. What I'd prefer is if he could just like retire himself.
Yeah, he can,
and just be like, all right, I've done what I need to do. I'm peacing out, because that would be much better than him just dying in office. But
I would love to see the complete destruction of the two-party system.
Yeah,
like not even like. I want a third party or whatever.
We're so far.
I like third parties.
I feel like we're so far from that, though.
I want to see like complete, just no more partisan politics.
Or like make lobbyists and super PACs illegal.
Yeah, just make certain things illegal. That'd be great too.
The thing is, we're looking.
But money.
2024.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I don't want to vote for.
If Trump's alive, he's gonna run again.
Of course.
And if Trump's not alive,
that's so fucking.
It'll be like Pence, or it'll be like some other asshole who's at least as bad as Trump, because we now have all these people that have been getting,
to be fair,
pumped up for the last 4 years.
I feel like
to like him.
I feel like Trump redefined the Republican Party, and really, a lot of people make the argument that Republicans are the same; they never changed. But the difference is they were slightly changing. Jeb Bush was trying to take things to a different direction, but Trump just brought it way back to old school and brought it back hard. And so I think whoever runs next is going to be very similar. Like, it doesn't even matter who. They're going to be very similar in beliefs to Trump. They might be better than Trump, but they'll be very similar to Trump. Well,
I honestly think Biden is in much better shape than Trump is, especially at his age. Like, Biden looks like a good 70-year-old man.
Yeah, I think in physical shape he's a lot better.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't know how Trump's even. I thought he was gonna die from COVID. Like, you can't treat your body that bad at like 77 or whatever,
right?
And then get COVID.
I mean, he's fat as fuck.
Yeah, he's in horrible
super
shape.
overweight. I mean, he eats shit.
He eats like shit. He doesn't sleep.
I'm surprised he hasn't had like a heart attack.
He has a really weird sleep cycle.
He's on Adderall 24/7.
Yeah, he's constantly doing drugs.
I'm honestly, all the conservatives say Joe Biden's gonna die as soon as. But how is Trump still fucking breathing? Like,
Yeah.
he's so in poor shape.
Like, and that's the thing. Yeah, I just hope Biden retires either after this term or during the first term, honestly. But, you know, I gotta be honest about Kamala Harris. While I love her policies on a lot of things, I don't think she has a spine or a backbone, and she can't debate for shit. And
That's really a big
she's not.
Democrat problem.
She's
like,
not.
Democrats overall tend to
Oh
be,
yeah, Democrats are fucking piss babies. But,
yeah.
and it's like, but she literally has zero charisma. Like, she cannot do this. She cannot lead people. She needs to be in, like,
isn't particularly charismatic either. Like,
I think he's a lot better than a lot of the people who ran this time.
he's better than a lot of them, but like,
I think Bernie's the only one who
like,
really
being better than like all the other piss boys, but
Yeah.
you're still a piss boy. Like that's not
well,
good.
well,
That's just better.
I think Biden has the charisma, but he has nothing behind it. He's literally a shell he's a puppet.
Yeah.
He just he literally ran on nothing.
He ran on being the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Like he's like, hey, that
But
guy's a moron, and I'm a piss boy, and you'd rather
But,
have
like,
a piss boy than a evil moron, right? And
He-
it's like
All he
I
did
guess,
though,
like,
he came on stage and he was like, "Come on."
Yeah,
And that's all he had to do.
like that's not presidential. He would
Yeah.
be a terrible president in any other election.
Yeah.
Like,
well-
a terrible option.
I agree.
People-
And I'm kind of worried about the future, but I'm hoping, because people say, well, we're returning to the Obama years. But you have to remember, some things did happen in the Obama years that were good. So what I'm hoping for is a small path of progress. Just like a few things here and there until we get to the next guy. That's what I'm hoping for.
Apparently, a lot of people are scared that Biden's like gonna bring our military down and make us.
Yeah, they have no fear. They should have no fear for that one.
Yeah,
If
no,
anything.
they think he's gonna be. They think he's gonna.
I don't know why people are.
They think he's
They're
gonna
so stupid.
incite a war with China and like all this bullshit.
Oh yeah, yeah. People, I saw that. I saw comments today. They're like, I thought we're gonna have the police state dystopian future Trump was promising, but we're actually gonna get China controlling America. And I was
Yeah,
like, what do you?
they're-
What?
They
Yeah.
keep saying he's a communist, and it's like
he's
a
far
lot.
from.
He's a lot closer to being Trump than he is to being a communist.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
He's a lot closer to a Republican than.
Obama.
He's
I
old
think.
school Republican is what he is.
I
He's
th-
he
yeah.
would have been friends. He probably was friends with
With-
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
He's like only an inch away from being a centrist. Obama is like slightly left of center, and Biden's pretty much just right there. In fact, everyone has been saying this, that Biden was really only picked to be Obama's VP because Obama can't win over Republicans, and Biden is a Democrat who can win over Republicans. So that's kind of why he was chosen. And now we're ditching Obama, going straight for Biden. It's mainly for name recognition.
We literally flipped the roles of they were like.
Yeah,
So,
now,
like,
so now we
they
have Kamala
had a-
Harris, who's slightly left of center. Yeah,
Yeah, and we had Obama was the brown guy with the liberal policies to bring in the more left leaning
Yeah.
people, and Joe was the like old segregationist white
Yes.
guy who
yeah.
to bring in the Republicans. They were like, shit, like we can't put a brown person front and center. We have to have the old segregationist white
Right,
guy
right.
front and center, and then we'll put like a brown
Well,
person in the background.
I think
And people are still flipping their shit about that. Like,
I think that it is cool. First vice president that's a female. She is the first vice president who's black
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have one.
right?
It's just no one cares about that because Obama's already president.
Did you?
But,
I'm sorry. Continue.
The thing about with Biden though is they literally chose him solely based off name recognition.
Yeah.
And what that says to me, because like your points are scary, but like what it says to me about the name recognition thing is like they just don't have any faith in Democratic people to think at all. They don't have any faith in us to try to pick someone based off policy. They're like, pick Hillary or pick Biden. Pick the people you know. No, the Clintons are a terrible family. They've done horrible things to this country.
They've done
we don't
horrible
want
things
them.
to individual people.
Yes.
Like
We don't.
they've probably
no more,
killed people.
No
Like,
more Clinton. No more Bush. Time for new families. In this 2016, in 2014 or 15, I said I'm not excited to vote between Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton. I was wrong because it became a race between Trump and Bernie, but then the Democrats snipped Bernie. And it's like, oh, okay, so nobody wants Bush or Clinton, and you get rid of the Bush, and now we're stuck with fucking Clinton. We're getting Trump.
I was much less left-leaning in 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
And I was super stoked for a Bernie Trump
Yeah.
like debate.
Well, that's
like,
where the real hearts of the parties were.
Yeah. Like,
This was real.
Like, it was like, man, like, I don't know. I obviously didn't know
dude,
what
that
Trump
debate-
had coming down the chute, but I was like, maybe he'll give some good points. I
That
already
deb-
like Bernie. Like,
Yeah, that debate would have been
let's hear-
amazing.
Let's hear some shit. Like,
That would have been such a good debate.
Trump
And
just would have been like, "You're a communist." Oh.
Trump himself in 2015 said he was disappointed
Yeah.
in the DNC.
Yeah, because he wanted
to debate
but
Bernie.
He said he was afraid that Bernie would win, and then he was like not afraid if Hillary won.
Yeah.
And he like trashed Hillary on the stage.
Yeah.
And like again, it's one of those things where like at least she would she would say stuff that's more correct. Because, Trump's just full of shit. He's lies. But Trump would be like, I wasn't for the Iraq war. I was the only one not for... You weren't a politician back then. And you're, like, super pro-war right now. So I don't know what you have Rand Paul, who's, like, the guy trying to win over libertarians. Libertarians don't really like Trump. And, like, Rand Paul's like, Trump's going to send our troops home. He says, like, literally this year during the RNC, we're going to send our troops home. He's the only... president not for war. It's like just because we're not in the Iraq war means we're not at war anymore. That's not how
he
it
almost
works.
caused war with Iran.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing.
and North Korea.
What Biden said he's going to do day one is go back to the Paris Agreement for
go back to the
environmental
Iraq.
stuff.
Yeah.
And go back to the Iran agreement. So he's like, we're going to get back into peaceful agreements with Iran, and then we're also going to just actually care about our environment, like how we were going to do under Obama, which Trump only really got out of because Obama wanted to do it. So,
Can we talk about how...
fuck Trump? When people are like, oh, why are you so happy about Biden winning? He's awful. I'm like,
Because Trump lost.
he's objectively better than Trump,
Yeah.
though. Like, I know people don't like the lesser of two evils thing, but seriously, Trump is the worst.
So-
he sucks so much.
There are a couple things I want to get into, and that's
My
the
pants.
economy under Trump. Trump's tweets right now,
Yes,
and
which
the
we-
red snowflakes.
the red snowflakes are pretty
So
good.
let's start out with the economy under Trump. Apparently, it's the best economy we've ever had. Trump's the best president for building the economy. But let's be real here, okay? Trump inherited the economy
booming
from
economy, yeah.
Obama. That was already huge and
Which,
booming.
I
He
think
did nothing to stimulate the economy. He just let it go, and it went up because that's what it was doing.
well, when they say like the economy is doing better, they will use the example of like the stock market because, like Trump keeps giving tax cuts to
The
rich. To the
And
rich.
the stimulus bill, like the one we got, was like 80% of it went to corporations to bail
Yeah,
them out, and it
yeah.
wasn't even like
They got
ones
bailed
that
out
might
while we-
struggle. It was like
We're
Delta
getting-
Airlines and shit.
Yeah, we're getting evicted while they're getting bailed out,
Right.
and they're getting bailed out preemptively.
Even though Trump said he wasn't going to do bailouts.
Yeah. So
So the whole Trump has the best economy is false. While technically he
there's
does
literally
have the
never
best.
It's literally just anecdotal evidence of people saying like, "I make more money this year." And it's like, can you tell me why though?
Yeah, it's not because of Trump. It's not because of anything
Yeah.
Trump did.
And that's not falling back on the average citizen either. Like
Yeah.
working in a restaurant, you're not going like,
Right.
"Oh wow,
Again-
my boss gave me a raise." It's
Literally
if you are on the stock market.
it's just
then you
anecdotal
see-
evidence
yeah.
that people are saying. They're like, I have
Well,
made more money this year. And
right.
it's like, you have to go into more details than that.
So while the economy was very good under Trump, it wasn't his doing,
And
and
people
it has
were,
nothing to do with what Trump did.
people were saying we're heading towards a recession again. And people have said if we weren't going to have COVID, we still would have hit it anyway.
Mm.
So
And okay, so second thing,
the
Trump
tweets
Trump
where he
tweeted.
just keeps saying, okay, he's been saying this thing about the legal observers for
Hold on.
votes. That's not real. There is no such thing as a legal
Yes.
observer.
So first off, an hour before Biden was declared winner, Trump said, "I won big."
Yeah, he said he won today,
An hour.
and
ago.
then right after he
An
said
hour
he
before.
won, he won.
Yeah.
Every media outlet decided to say that Biden won. And by the way, I already said the day before that Biden won, and people were like, "Oh, it's been declared." I'm like, "Not yet. but he won.
Yeah.
Trump can't win. It's still, the votes are still going on right now. The media just decided to finally come out and they're like, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid now because there's no way Biden can lose
Biden
now.
did actually win today, though.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately. And then he tweeted
out. It was
out.
really awesome watching Georgia flip, too. I saw
Yeah.
it flip whenever it was under 500 votes.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I had like looked at like half an hour before and I was like, wow, that's really close, but it's still red. And then I opened it again and I was like, holy
It was like
shit.
yeah.
Like they're right on there.
Yeah, there's moments. Yeah, I mean, I think he won some of those states by like less than 1% of the vote.
It was like 4,000 votes in Georgia.
Yeah,
Or something like that.
it's crazy
for
for
like a 5 million.
the people who
state.
say like, why does my one vote matter? In certain swing states, it can literally change everything.
In Illinois, it meant nothing.
Yeah,
but, like,
where we live, it means fucking nothing. But you should still go vote for your state and local shit. You can write Kanye, that's fine. But vote on the other shit that matters.
I was actually I had the flu on Tuesday, and I had 102 fever.
Yeah.
And so I didn't go vote at all. And I was like,
You should have early voted, man.
I was thinking
That's
that
what I
while I
did.
was laying there, but I really wanted to go. So I live in a very conservative town.
Yeah.
I wanted to go there in person and do my shit in person.
Yeah.
And then I was laid out with the fever, and I was like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
and none of my people won anyway, I don't think.
The fair tax plan,
I don't know how that didn't go through.
it didn't go through. Yeah, it lost.
So stupid. But hold on, there was a
the
second
Chicago
tweet.
people failed us.
There was a second tweet I wanted to talk about. So at 3:54, Trump said 70 million legal votes, the most ever for a sitting president. One, completely false.
I thought that was.
Biden?
I thought it was a record number of.
No, this is one of the biggest turnouts we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
So it might be the most for a sitting president, but Biden has gotten the most votes for a presidential candidate ever.
He has the most votes ever.
But Trump had to specify legal votes, even though all votes are legal.
yeah.
And voter fraud is very rare and very hard to do.
It's really a hangover from when the mob was a thing, and the mob would pay people to do that shit. Like, and now that's not a problem anymore, but he brings it up all
Trump
the time.
and Trump's son and certain people in Trump's party have all just been saying this is all a scam. The media's wrong. Trump's still gonna win, and it's like, it's just crazy because it's like the people who told me to be afraid of the Civil War happening were all people on the right. They were all people on the right saying like just be aware of what happens on Tuesday because we might see some crazy shit go down. And then the Trump people are just riling people up. They're just calling for action constantly.
I don't think we have a civil war coming, but I think
We
we
definitely
probably
don't.
have 4 years of civil unrest ahead of us.
We
Like,
have we just have people who live in two different worlds right now.
and everyone's pissed off. It's not half of them are pissed off. It's not the liberals are pissed off and the Republicans are sitting there doing the like drinking liberal tears thing, and it's not the other way around.
We
It's
both
everyone's
completely
mad.
we completely are disgusted by each other from a lack of understanding. But people always say like people need to come together in the middle. But what they don't realize is that the people on the right literally live in a fictional world where they reject everything. They reject science. They reject the news. They reject what everyone like. They believe in QAnon. Like, it's really hard to come together in the middle with them because they just live in an inverse world. Like they're gonna have to just concede on things, and they're not gonna do that.
And a lot of times they're fooled by they're people on the right tend to be more attracted to aggressive, like Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and like the kind of people who get out on TV and like yell and like that kind of thing, and they get fooled by those people who have wealth and a stake in this.
Yeah, they like those people. They like people who explain things and like a common like understanding for them.
Right.
Like, cause it's like they just like when you're like, we're gonna raise minimum wage, they always instantly jump to like, well, that's gonna make everything else go up, and then they get really mad. And if you just all you do is just confirm that fear, they're just gonna believe you because they have the confirmation bias. So all you gotta do is confirm what they know.
Bernie explains the minimum wage really well.
I know.
And a lot of right-leaning people liked Bernie because he was.
And when Bernie was on Joe Rogan, all the comments were, "Wow, I had no idea the media portrays him in such a different light."
Right.
And like
he literally explains all his policies, how he's gonna do it,
yeah,
and why.
And that's the thing. We need people are sheep, and I'm
yeah.
sorry for saying that, but people need to be. I look to certain people to inform me. That's what I do, and people need leaders. And if you don't have a good leader, then they're gonna be led into fucking doing some stupid ass shit, like dancing around, listening to Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name, but they're singing it about like, oh, now you do what they told you. The Democrats are gonna kill us all. It's like that song is literally
about police murder.
He says there's one verse. There's only one verse. It's not a mystery what that song's about. It's about white people killing people because they're cops.
Some of those,
some of those who work forces are the same who burn crosses. That's all. That's like the only lyric in the fucking song, and they don't know what the song's about.
Those who died are justified.
For wearing the badge and they're chosen white. It's literally.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Down Rodeo is like that.
No.
Down
I'm rolling down Rodeo.
Rage Against the Machine is pretty political. It's pretty hard to not know what they're talking about half the time.
These people ain't seen a brown skinned man since their grandparents bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that one.
They say that and then you go, oh. And then while you go, oh, it goes, beep, 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 beep. You just have to like sit with that like blaring realization.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Right-leaning people who like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, because they're awesome.
And
you can't make a message.
They understand what it's about too. Like not all right-leaning people are like, oh, it's about the like.
If you're for small government, you should be against the police state.
Yeah.
And some libertarians get this, and then other libertarians are like, no, cops.
It's really the
bizarre.
What do they call themselves? It's ANCAPs. Anarcho-capitalist.
That's fucking retarded.
They want the only big power they want is big corporations.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They want the government completely to disappear, and they want corporations.
That's the absolute worst possible scenario.
But like,
that is the absolute worst.
That makes no sense.
They want completely unregulated business.
They want businesses to be able to do what they want because that way it could potentially help all of us. Because they think big government is the problem we have right now. And they say that because big government's corrupt. Yes, big government's corrupt, but corporations are also corrupt. And the fun thing is why is government corrupt? Because of corporations.
Yeah.
So why would you... What I always explain to people is like, Donald Trump is best because he can't be bought off because he's not owned by lobbyists. I'm like, but he basically is a lobbyist already.
He's his own lobbyist.
Yeah, you're cutting out the middleman.
They don't realize like all his family members he hired.
Yeah,
turn into lobbyists.
Yeah,
because they get bought off. Fuck me. I got like some whatever. I'm not like throwing up, but like a spasm.
It's coming through your nose.
Anyway,
like burps are.
It's like a burp wants to come out, but then it doesn't, and so it just hurts.
Yeah. Talking about
so all these people around
family.
him, even though they're not lobbyists, they become lobbyists.
And Trump's so easy to like. Trump will just do what you tell him to. Like if you just like literally, people will just tell him something and then he'll just go do it because he's looking. He needs advisors. Trump is a sheep. He needs people to lead him. We need good leaders.
Well,
everyone, without good leaders, we're lost.
It's impressive how people literally think that Trump is the second coming of Christ, and that if he is not our president, then America will we'll all die, and America will be wiped off the face of the earth.
Which is crazy to me because he has a lot more in common with, like, if you believe in, the end times and Revelation and all that, he has a lot more in common with the Antichrist than he does with Jesus. Like,
sometimes... I don't know if this is true or not, but sometimes people say that like Christians are trying to bring about the end times on purpose
to prove that their religion's right.
I guess. Well, like they think it's like the next step. I guess.
Yeah.
They look at the signs like, oh, people are becoming more sinful.
I agree with Frederick.
I think it's fake. I don't think that's real. I don't think people are becoming less godly and more sinful. I think people have always just never been that godly as people perceive it to be.
They typically cite abortion and how So it's actually, isn't abortion less common than it was like a couple decades ago because there's a lot more
because sex education is better. Yeah. And then, and remember, that is part of the job of Planned Parenthood, is just to prevent those situations from happening in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
like they cover.
I'm not anti-abortion, but I don't.
You don't want to be in that situation.
I don't like the idea that where some people are like, it's not everyone. It's not common, but some people are like, I should be able to.
Girls in high school would always be like, not always, but
yeah.
Girls in high school would be like, well, if anything happens. Da 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 ha 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 ha, and I'm like, oh god,
yeah,
you're making me want to not have sex with you now.
Yeah,
like don't put that in my head.
That's
yeah,
it's nice.
It's a weird thing.
Sex education is
yeah
has really helped America.
Yeah, yeah. People used to think a lot of really weird shit about sex and getting pregnant, and I mean, I some people really did believe the whole like if she's on top, you can't get her pregnant because it'll just like fall down or something like that. Or people like, think weird shit.
You can't get pregnant on your when you lose your virginity. Was one.
That's ridiculous. I've never. That's crazy. Yeah.
There's another one. There's a bunch of
shit.
It's like,
but then also you can get pregnant from pre-cum if you've already ejaculated, because then the semen will like be in your pre-cum.
Yeah.
And so then you don't even have to come inside the girl. You can come in her mouth and then fuck her after, and you might get her pregnant. And that's important to know. You need to fucking know that shit. I don't know what guy's coming and then fucking more, but I'm just saying, you need to know that shit. You can't be doing that. So, and then also that's probably gonna help on venereal diseases too, and all that other stuff.
It's just gonna help overall.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear about that, which is crazy because that's not even like a.
If you want to prevent abortion, you have to actually do something.
That. Like to not use
condoms or
like condoms or anything. That's a Catholic thing.
Yeah.
To like no birth control, no condoms.
Which is ridiculous.
That's not a Protestant thing. That's just people who aren't looking into their own beliefs. They're just listening to what their grandma told them.
Yeah.
From 70 years ago, and it's like, yeah, she's an old racist. Like, you're 70 years old. She was 70.
They're just slut shaming.
70 years ago. Like, this is someone who was born right after we freed the slaves. Like, like they're wrong about science. I'm sorry. Like, your grandma's
don't know. Yeah, they don't know everything. She can't change the channel.
She doesn't know how. You could show her a remote. And she would.
They can't change the channel on the damn TV.
Like. You try and explain the internet to her, her head would blow up.
Yeah,
like
they can't do that shit.
So Friedrich Nietzsche, he's the guy.
Yeah,
he's the guy who said God is dead.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And which doesn't really mean that.
He was talking more so in the sense of religion, as like people being religious, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't talking about like the real God died.
He also argued that.
I just think that statement's funny.
What?
I think it's a funny statement.
Yeah, I like.
There's an anime I was watching about like demons, and like interacting with humans, and then they have to fight fallen angels, and then late in the second season, angels come down. Like, why won't God just help us with this battle? And then he goes, God is dead. And I was like, this is so cool.
This is awesome.
But yeah, go on.
Well, so the whole quote is something like, God is dead. Who are we to have killed like such a blah blah blah. I could find that whole quote. I don't remember it.
Right.
It'd probably be cool. But it's a cool quote. I like it. But it's more cool. So...
Nietzsche, isn't he like the original nihilist, or am I wrong?
Yeah, he is the original nihilist. A lot of Christians fucking hate him because he said God is dead.
Right.
And that we killed him. He said God is dead, we killed him. Who are we to have commit such an atrocious feat? Yeah. But so basically he also argued in one of his books that the next step for evolution is to get rid of religion completely. Yeah. Because we're trying to stick to these old versions of humanity that don't exist anymore, and to further advance in society, we have to move past the religious morals and create our own.
I mean, I agree with that, but I think you can do that with the religion still.
I think,
but I don't like when people are. I just don't like when people are really literal about. I think that you can learn a lot from mythos, like. I don't have
Greek mythology.
Like Aesop's fables. It's like I don't believe there's a like talking scorpion. Well, or whatever,
the best
fables always have.
The best example is Patton Oswalt used to do a comedy bit where he's like, Christians are funny. They're like imagine if you read Green Lantern, you said, I want that to be real. This is real now. And it's like, yeah, you can learn a lot. Because the thing is, I used to go to church, and I know a lot of stories from the Bible. I know almost all those stories from the Bible. But really, when I think about like morality, I'm thinking about superheroes and Star Wars. Like, I'm literally thinking about like stories that I've seen in comics or movies or video games, and how that made me think. And that's the thing. Like, we don't necessarily need religion as long as we have good media. So I don't know.
I think
we need like stories though. We need mythos.
Religion.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that they choose it. I think raising children to be religious is a big problem that we have.
I think it's why so many Christians are so misguided, is because they learned the wrong lessons as kids.
They were taught they were taught
you
never actually read the Bible on their own to understand what the moral lessons are supposed to be.
If you don't listen to us, you go to hell or whatever. Like, you don't. They really believe in hell.
Yeah, they
God
use scare
tactics,
tactics,
and you'll go to hell if you don't.
God can read your mind, so never think anything bad about me ever.
Yeah.
Well, they use scare tactics, and then they can also twist the Bible any way they want because it's
because no one's gonna read it.
So vague, and no one's gonna read it. So here's the whole Nietzsche quote.
I always tell people, like, you didn't read the Bible, and they always argue and say they did. And people say me, they'd be like, I read it twice, and they never do.
No, it's so.
I've actually read the Bible twice.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and I can tell you most people did not.
Yeah, no.
When
people just lie about.
When I was Christian, I thought about it, and I tried, but it's so fucking boring and long. I was like,
my uncle's like, just open it up and go to a random page and start reading something.
They're like, the Bible's so good. It's such a good read, and I'm like, no, it's not fucking not.
It's literally just you can just read any story.
There's like 200.
You can read any other book.
There are 200 pages of just Isaac was the father of blah 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 blah.
Isaac
blah, blah,
had to
blah,
cut
blah,
off his son's foreskin. Blah blah blah.
No, it goes through all the heritage.
No, Isaac got his foreskin cut off. Yeah.
It goes through all the heritage, and it's like, Nicholas was the second cousin once removed of Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac's brother was, and it like goes through. I think what is that? Is that in Genesis or?
That's in a bunch of the books. But,
okay.
The point of that
Genesis is a pretty good band
to show
and Sega made a good
genealogy of King David, and then from that to show the genealogy of Jesus, because Jesus was descended from David, and David was
It's okay. Most Christians don't even know.
David was descended from a poor farm girl. So it's supposed to show that, like, basically from his root, Jesus's root is among the people, among the poor. Like, you know, Jesus's quote, like,
just like Donald Trump,
bless the poor. Like, like
he started out. Yeah, whatever.
It's the old Jewish way of explaining things is like long format stories where you have to like read into the details.
It's cool. I mean, Lord of the Rings is better, but I mean, it's cool though.
I really want to read this quote because I think it's
go
really
ahead.
Cool.
Nietzsche?
And then so this is Friedrich Nietzsche.
I think
It says
Nietzsche,
it's
we all say Nietzsche.
God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? What was holiest, mightiest of all, that the world has yet owned its blood to death under our knives? Who will wipe this blood off us? What water is there for us to clean ourselves? What festivals of atonement, what sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? Must we ourselves not become gods simply to appear worthy of it? Yeah, it's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But a lot of people just take the God is dead part, like, and then they'll be like, they make a movie called God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
Or they make a song called God's Not Dead.
God was aborted because he's not real.
Yeah.
He was aborted before he became real.
It's funny.
I like the song Heresy by 9 Inch Nails, where he says, God is dead and no one cares. If there is a hell, I'll see you there. That's the chord. It's a good song. Pretty cool.
Pretty sus.
Pretty edgy.
Remember when people thought the Beatles were edgy?
Yeah. No, they hated Nietzsche because he said God's dead, and they didn't listen to anything else he said.
Yeah,
and they hated the Beatles because he said the Beatles are bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought he said God is dead and I killed.
Yeah, John Lennon said that. He said God's dead.
That's fucking awesome. I love John Lennon.
I don't. Did he really say that?
I think so.
John
Lennon's an ass.
John Lennon has a song called "God," where he says he doesn't believe in God over and over and over.
I don't believe in God.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have?
It's a good song. He has a lot of songs.
Doesn't he have
I mean,
song
imagine
that's,
he
woman
literally.
is the N-word of the world.
Yeah, woman is the new N-word of the world, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to make a feminist point.
He didn't say N-word.
Yeah, he said. Well, he was trying to be edgy.
No, he didn't say God is dead and I killed him. I feel like that's from a comedy stick.
The thing is, John Lennon was very. I don't think he was a spiritual person at all. I think he was a materialist.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Beat the shit out of his kids and wife and.
Well, I don't. Okay, that has nothing to do with that part, but he did do that. Yeah.
I mean, it's still morality.
He neglected a lot of his. He neglected the kids from like his first family and stuff like that. He was not a good dad or a good husband. He cheated on both of his wives. Like.
The worst thing is he brought Yoko Ono up onto a stage.
Well, yeah.
And now she's still around.
So Nietzsche
She's not
said
really
this.
around.
Nietzsche said this in 1882.
No,
He said God is dead. But
no,
it
the
wasn't-
world is only just now becoming less Christian. Okay.
Yeah. But literally, he said it in fucking 1882
Yeah, I know.
in his book.
People have always
in
been.
the collection, The Gay Science. And then
Yeah.
it didn't erupt, like, people didn't actually get fully pissed off about it until 1965.
Yeah.
When everyone was like, yeah, God is dead. I guess we did fucking kill him.
You know, like, going back in history is really cool because, like
no, God's not dead. He's alive. I believe in him.
there's a lot of cool stuff in history. Like, Moby Dick was a flop. No one read it until after the author was dead. Like, and then it became, like, one of the most important pieces of literature because there's all. And in Moby Dick, it's about how capitalism doesn't work, just so we're all clear about what Moby Dick's about.
I might have to try and reread it, but that is one of the few books that I have tried to read in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, I hated it from the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
that one and Treasure Island had, like,
How young were you when you were reading them?
11 or 12,
Yeah.
probably.
I guess that's possible, yeah.
Have you guys read,
I guess that's doable.
have you all read, To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah, well,
No.
we had to in high school.
Right. I had to in middle school.
Yeah.
Actually, in high school, freshman year.
Yeah, me too.
That book is really fucking good.
That's a good book.
That is one of the most... That is probably the book the best book I had to read for school.
It's right up there for me.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids who really liked The Outsiders in middle school.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. That's a good book too, but it was written for middle school.
It was written
Whereas-
literally for like 14-year-old boys.
Whereas To Kill a Mockingbird was written for adults.
Yeah.
And it's still really compelling and a very good
and
read.
people who like Trump don't remember anything about it, I guess. Or
Well, you know, all the schools in the South banned it because it had the N-word in it. But that's like
sure.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they banned it because white people called black people the N-word, and they're like, "Hey, what? This isn't a bad thing. Come on, guys."
Even though the whole book is about racism.
It's literally about race. Yeah, that book is awesome because
it's so good.
when you watch, a lot of movies have good endings, and so you read that book, and the black guy is 100% like completely in the right. He did nothing wrong. The
Still
girl's
good.
lying about him raping her, which I love that. I love that. That's what the book's about. And then he just, he's still tried guilty, and that's just how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
And the main character, who's the lawyer, or the dad of the main character, who's the lawyer, Atticus Finch is the lawyer. He's like
Awesome
and
name.
His daughter's name is Scout, and she's this little tomboy. Her name is Scout. It's fucking awesome.
But it's awesome seeing the whole thing through a child's eyes.
Yeah, and then and then he
And
fucking
seeing her realize. Like the whole... Yeah,
I'm gonna show you guys a YouTube poop after this called To Mock a Killing Bird.
Okay, we also need to watch epic rap battles.
Okay, fine.
The court scene is awesome because so you don't really know what's going on Well, you know what's going on, but you don't know like if the guy's actually innocent or what.
You only get like glimpses of what's going on,
right?
Because it's whatever Scout sees,
right?
Yeah.
But once you get to the court case, it's very obvious that this guy is innocent. The woman was lying.
Well, and
trying to cover up.
Before the
actually,
case,
isn't it the husband lying?
Yeah,
because he beats his
the daughter. Yeah, the girl admits it. The girl admits she was lying, and he still gets tried guilty.
Yeah, well,
because the people were all white. In the jury.
Father or the husband actually beat her and raped her.
Yeah,
and the black man came in and saved her.
Yeah,
but then the white man was like, "I'm gonna fucking kill both of you if you don't."
Right.
If you go with the story that he raped you. And,
yeah, because the girl literally
admits it.
Yeah.
Still, the black guy
she lied.
Found guilty.
Yeah, he's still guilty.
And I don't know if he was killed at the end. He probably was.
Well,
that's really close to, and that came out before she admitted she lied. What's the kid's name?
8 or whatever. Wait, what are you talking about?
In Alabama, he whistled at that woman.
Oh yeah, that famous story.
Tenant. No.
The famous story of like the guy. I know what you're talking about.
Fuck, what is his name? Just so we can get the audience on the same page.
I don't remember. Was it
Emmett Till?
Emmett Till.
It's very close to Emmett Till's story because that shit actually.
Happened. He wolf whistled at he allegedly wolf whistled at a woman.
Right.
Well, he was from Chicago, and in Chicago is obviously liberal, so black people, and he went down to the South, and I think this was in the 60s.
That was in the 40s, I think.
40s, okay.
Yeah.
So he was from Chicago, and obviously Chicago's very liberal. Black people were able to do those kind of things.
Yeah, Chicago's...
Not even entirely, because they weren't. Like people like to act like, oh, the South was like evil,
but
the North wasn't good.
But Chicago had like black section, and black people were more free amongst themselves. And stuff.
It wasn't good. But
it wasn't like everyone lived in perfect harmony.
If Emmett Till were to do that in Chicago at that time, I don't think he would have been lynched and killed.
Right.
But he did it in the South, and he was unaware that the South people would kill black people for less.
Yeah.
And so
they'll take any reason. Yeah,
he allegedly did this. 2 men kidnapped him.
States shouldn't have their all law for themselves, but yeah,
right. They kidnapped him and beat him to death, and threw him in a river, and his body was found.
Yeah,
they were all the evidence was there. They clearly did it.
Yeah,
found innocent, and
because
Emmett Till's body was unrecognizable.
Yeah,
it was complete. It was horrible.
From it are
brutal. He doesn't look like a human.
It's the kind of thing you see from like World War II Japan or Nazis or NCIS.
The story for To Kill a Mockingbird before the trial.
They already tried to.
There's like a group of white people coming towards him, and he's like just sitting there.
Well, Atticus Finch is sitting there.
Yeah, Atticus literally it's like steps between them. He's like, "You're not coming near my client."
Well, he was guarding the jailhouse because no one else was.
Yeah,
the policemen weren't going to do anything because they were probably going to lynch him.
Happen. Yeah,
yeah. So Atticus Finch. This shows how
the book
Atticus Finch believes in the system and that he should get a fair trial, even if he's black or whatever.
Right.
And so this whole mob comes up, and the whole point is that Scout starts recognizing all these people in the crowd. She's like, What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And all the adults are like, well, and they all like back off.
Yeah.
And it just like shows that anyone can be a racist without you knowing.
Right.
That's like the whole point of that scene.
In 1992, Rage Against the Machine condensed it down into Killing in the Name.
Right. Yeah, and now we have Trump supporters dancing to it.
I hate how
and pointing at people saying, "Now you do what they told you." And it's like, no, that's.
Do you, when you guys see someone with an American flag,
I hate it. I tell my mom the American flag is a sign of racism now, and she got so mad at me. She told me to leave the country, basically.
I think left-leaning people need to take it back, basically.
I was about to say that. I fucking hate that. Whenever I see someone holding an American flag, I get kind of disgusted.
Yeah, we have been trying to take it back. It's just they fight back hard.
I don't mean
Yeah.
through election. I mean like
whenever
they show a Blue Lives Matter flag and a Confederate flag and an American flag on the back of their truck, we need to do like an Antifa flag and a Black Lives Matter flag and an American flag.
Yeah,
And
because they always
I'm an American and this is what
I
believe.
They always put like all these horrible flags of racism right next to the American flag.
We've always been doing now they have the black and white American flag with the blue line.
Yeah, and it makes me
is a
sick.
fucking symbol of racism.
Yeah, it makes me sick, and I'm like, why? When it is literally
First
the
of all,
American flag only became a symbol of racism because of those people.
Yeah. And can I just
if
say,
it weren't for those people, American flag would still stand for freedom and liberty.
when you take the American flag and you change the colors, that is a desecration of the flag.
Or if you wear it,
or at the very least, it's a different flag.
Yeah, but I would say it's almost mocking the flag, if anything.
Yeah.
But like, now the thing
it's
is, like,
a desecration of a flag to wear it.
When they have the Confederate flag, that's literally them saying they want to leave America, right? Like,
that's a separatist flag.
Right.
Well, and that flag's not even about.
That's not even there is no Confederate flag really.
That got popular in the 60s.
Yeah, they got popular.
The civil rights movement.
Literally, when people say that it's about their heritage when they fly that flag,
their heritage is hating black
that
people.
flag literally was not popular till the 60s because in the actual Civil War there were multiple Confederate flags and there was no official Confederate flag.
That was the Virginia battle flag, if I remember correctly.
Someone
Robert E. Lee's
took that flag and people started waving those flags to represent that they were pro-Confederacy, I guess, during the segregation period. Literally to say they're anti-segregation. So that flag is 100% about racism. It's not about history or heritage.
It's anti-American.
100%. Yeah. And even if it was about your heritage, it would be anti-American.
Yeah.
Because you're literally saying you want to leave the country.
Yeah.
So whenever they fly those flags, so first of all, that's even worse than a desecration. But just the fact that it's like, how dare they claim to be like the patriotic ones when they're literally not, and then they fucking they literally ruin the flag. They desecrate the flag. They're shitting on the flag. That's way worse than kneeling during the Pledge of Allegiance or national anthem or whatever. It is worse than burning the flag.
Even though multiple.
That's part of flag code.
Yeah.
Is to burn the flag.
Well, to burn the flag in protest has been protected by numerous courts of law.
Right.
And they're like, this is a form of protest. You can legally burn a flag.
And that's actually how you properly dispose.
You're supposed to just burn the flag.
But not the way they do it. They fucking burn it and they spit on it and they come on it and all that. So
I love jerking off and coming on the American flag. I love when my GF, who bought me a PS5 recently, wears an American flag bikini, and then I just fuck her and then come all over the bikini. And I say, God bless this country. God bless America.
But so why can't I be a Democrat, a liberal, still be patriotic?
And so
why do I have to be conservative to be patriotic?
Since like the Jon Stewart days, when Jon Stewart was on TV, we had like an actual Democrat guy who
he wasn't even
he called out both sides.
Yeah.
Fairly, and he was the most popular news show.
I literally just discovered him.
Really? He's a fucking god.
2 days ago.
He's a genius. He's awesome.
Have you ever seen when he went on Tucker Carlson's show and roasted the shit out of him?
Well, I haven't seen him on he used to do Bill O'Reilly a lot. I haven't seen him on Tucker Carlson.
So back in the 2004 election, when Tucker Carlson had a CNN show.
Oh, fuck.
He went on there and just roasted the shit out of him for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Jon Stewart was good because he was real.
And got him fired. He got him fired off of CNN. He had that show taken off air. He used to wear bow ties. After that, he never wore bow ties on TV anymore.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be recognized.
Yeah, Jon Stewart just...
Stewart is...
I'll send it to you guys.
Godlike, right? He quit doing Daily Show, and that's why Trevor Noah came in. But yeah, which Jon Stewart made John Oliver, made Stephen Colbert, made Rob Corddry, made Samantha Bee. He made all those people.
And they're all just less good versions of him.
Yeah, none of them really come. There was one guy I liked. Forgot his name. He used to do the Nightly Show, which only lasted for a little bit. The Nightly Show was dope. It would come on after a Daily Show with Trevor Noah. because Colbert used to come on after Daily Show.
Yeah, the Colbert Report.
Yeah, so they had to do something new. So he did the nightly show, and he's
Trevor Noah, the black guy.
Yeah, he's the guy he's the Daily Show guy right now.
Yeah,
and so the nightly show was way different in format. He would have like 4 guests on every night and do a round table. So the first half would be his Daily Show Colbert Report thing where he's talking about the news. And then we do like a round table with all his guests and ask them certain questions. And one time the guest was Bernie Sanders, and he was like, "You gotta run. You gotta fucking run for president." And Bernie's like, "Well, I don't know." And the crowd goes crazy. And then like literally like a month after Bernie announced he was running for president in 2016, this is like, but Bernie Sanders was on there just being like, "Well, I'm a senator, and I believe in this. And he's like, everything you're saying, I'm loving, dude." It was awesome. Nightly Show was great, dude.
I just hate how you can't be patriotic without looking like a racist.
So that's the thing.
Jon Stewart and nationalism have combined into one thing.
Yeah,
and that's really fucking stupid because patriotism is what a lot of European countries have, where they're like, we really like Sweden because Sweden is pretty dope.
Yeah,
and if they don't like something about Sweden, they say we still like Sweden, but we should change this really dumb thing we do. And in America, we go, fuck America, I don't like America, and like do all kinds of like, protests of legitimate problems. But then it takes away from our.
The funny thing was Trump's campaign was "Make America Great Again," implying there's a problem with America.
The problem is the liberals in that situation,
and they're like, again, they're supposed to be the patriotic ones, and it's like,
but.
Nothing they do is patriot. They are the antithesis of like everything America stands for. Against freedom of religion, against freedom of speech, against everything. They're against everything. The only thing they're for is literally like gun laws, and that's it.
I just hate how I can't say I love my country without looking like a racist or a.
And that's something that Jon Stewart tried to like fight back on, was be like, you guys are not patriotic. You guys are undermining America every step of the way. Right now, what he does right now is he was the guy who really pushed relief stuff, like relief bills for 9/11 first responders. And that's still what he does. All he does is try to take care of veterans. That's all he wants to do right now.
Obama come on his show, and he was like pretty rough on Obama too.
Yeah, no, he's
like second term Obama.
He's rough on all of them. That was his whole thing, was he held everyone to task. Literally, I watched that show right after Obama got elected, and he was like, Obama's going to close down Guantanamo Bay, and it cuts to a clip of being like, Guantanamo Bay is going to be open for this much longer. And he's like, oh. Well, Obama promised he's going to be very transparent, and it's like the government failed to classify any of this stuff, blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Oh, well, at least Obama will do this." And then like he's just like, right after Obama got elected, already just fucking holding him to task.
Yeah,
like, we need that.
So, because I really do love living in America, I think it's the greatest country in the world.
Yeah. I think it could be.
Yeah. I think it could be a lot better.
It has the potential.
It could be again.
It very much could be.
Yeah, there's no reason why it's not right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love living here. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. We have our problems, but I hate that I can't say that without coming off as like some racist douchebag.
I could live somewhere else, but I'd rather live here.
Right.
I think
I could live in like a lot of those like Northern European countries. Ireland, Iceland would be nice, but like
my little brother told me
really. I like it here.
My little brother wants to move to New Zealand. He's like really serious about it right now.
Is he the libertarian one?
Mm-mm.
No.
He's more liberal than me.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't want to get into a thing because he's kind of like the thing though that if we're gonna end it on anything is
oh yeah, we should probably start.
It's okay to hate ideologies. Not okay to hate people. And what I like is like I love going to people and be like, I'm a super far leftist and I fucking hate Joe Biden, but not for the same reasons you do. And what I love is being like, if you introduce yourself a certain way, they literally have to delete all of their preconceived notions. And so when you can go about and be like, I love this country, I love America, but fuck everyone who says that. And that's what it needs to come. People need to bring that back. They need to stop being sheep. They need to bring back the individual.
They re-voted Nancy Pelosi in this year.
Yeah,
and she hasn't been to one of her own debates in over 25 years.
Nancy Pelosi is one of the most transparently hypocritical people we've ever. Yeah.
I would if there was a video a news conference where they both came out on stage tomorrow of Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi, and they're like, we've been in a 4-year affair of just the filthiest sex you can imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even blink. Like, it's like
when Nancy Pelosi ripped up my speech.
They're just the same person. She's just more successful Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Like,
she's basically a grifter. She's so awful.
So there was 2 things I wanted to talk about, but I forgot one. One that I remember is how the conservatives are crying right now.
Yeah, the red snowflakes.
Yeah, they are red snowflakes.
They are, yeah.
They are doing exactly what...
They meltdown.
They made fun of us in 2016. Right.
But
and they're currently doing it.
Those were the crybaby SJWs.
Right, okay.
This is literally like...
every conservative.
This is like... Well, it's like the Trump cult, who all they do is make fun of crybaby SJWs, but they're literally the same.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They're all kneeling in protest in Philadelphia right now.
Are they really?
They're like praying, they're praying. Kneeling to pray.
The TikTok that Shu retweeted of a guy with the Trump flag draped around him and says it's over, boys. And he's just like he looks like Batman or something.
I don't think I saw that one.
But he's just draped in a Trump flag. It's so good.
I forget. What was the other one I wanted to say?
What? No, you wanted to talk about Trump's tweets, the economy, and you wanted to talk about
red snowflakes.
No, but I had another one that I just came up with.
Well, what the fuck? I don't know. But no, the snowflakes are...
It like hopped in my head.
Oh, dude, did you see Steven Crowder say nope? That's all he said on Twitter today.
Yeah.
And Tommy Lawrence said a stolen election. It's just like, can you guys be the even bigger, whinier babies? Is there even a way to become a bigger baby than like what you're doing?
It is literally what it happened when they were like, hashtag not my president.
This is worse than not my president.
Yeah.
This is way worse than not my president.
Facebook is really fun to be on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter's really fun. Instagram's really fun.
Well, like, I don't have that many Republican friends. I have barely any Republican friends. But the ones I have.
Well, what I like to go
on
Twitter.
Like a 50-50 split on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
On Twitter, I like to go onto Trump threads, like his comments.
And just shit talk.
Yeah, and people will be like, oh, I'm so scared. God will make this right. God will make this right. And I comment, I'm like, nope, God's not real.
No, I'll be like the Christians who prayed for Trump to leave won.
Yeah.
They prayed more. They got more Christians to pray.
Well, I was like, God's not answering your prayers, and fuck you, he lost.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've been loving recently just telling those Christians, like, lots of Christians are praying for him to lose and to have Biden win, right? Like, stop. You do not own Christianity. Stop saying you do. Christians are definitely choosing Biden.
Do you remember?
No.
Which Biden's Christian too. So it's like...
Is he? Because they keep saying he's not, and I didn't actually check into it.
Who told you that? A Republican, right? Like, there's no way. Biden is 100%. Biden used to run on the fact every time he would talk about abortion.
It makes sense. I just didn't give a shit.
He would be like, because of my faith, I would never have an abortion myself. And I mean, like, with his family, right?
Right.
And he's like, but the woman should have a right to choose, especially in the case of life complications, blah, 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 right? And it's like,
rape.
Because Biden can be like, he's a leader. He can be like, all right, now Christians, you don't want to hear this, but gay people, I know. Trust me, I know. Gay people deserve rights. And my mom would be like, he's right. And I'd be like, oh my God, because my mom's dumb. This is great.
So I replied to a Trump tweet about how he wants to get rid of schools teaching about slavery and the Trail of Tears. You know that he wants to get rid of that. And I said, yes, let's just forget about the genocide of the Native Americans and the horrible suffering of slaves. America's not perfect, and we should, learn from the past. And some guy replied, he said, did you know one of the first slave owners in America was a black man? Did you know that there's a race?
You know what? That makes it all okay now. I didn't think. Wow, that's awesome. Hold on.
He goes,
I don't have to feel bad anymore.
I know. Did you know there's not a race in the history of the world that hasn't experienced what you just described? And we're here now. You're benefiting from white society, so stop whining. And I replied and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that just because a black man could own another black man, that made slavery okay. Even though most of, if not all, of the slaves were owned by white people.
Yeah.
He also said, Native Americans aren't native to this land. They came from Asia. Furthermore, they were conquering and pillaging each other. Not true, one. They were conquering and pillaging each...
That is true, but like
No, but America did not exist when that happened.
Right. That was like that was like 15,000 years ago.
Yeah. No. That was like Pangea. Well,
no,
actually,
they
no, it was
crossed over
not.
on the Bering Strait. Like it was.
Yeah.
It's been in like modern history.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Right.
But 15,000 years, they get dibs. Like
yeah.
They were the first.
And he said, furthermore, they were conquering and pillaging each other long before the evil white man got here. Did you know they brought their own slaves on their Trail of Tears? I don't think they really did. I don't think they could own slaves.
They could.
Oh, they could?
They actually fought for the Confederacy.
Okay, I'm wrong about that.
But
I said
that doesn't make it right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I said, doesn't mean we should forget about what we did to them and what makes a black guy owned another slave that makes it okay. I was responding to the other one.
That guy, everything he just told you, some of it
is
a benefit to history. The things he got right are a benefit to history. So why would you get rid of that?
Yeah. Well, so he's trying to say that
even whatever you think about it, not getting rid of that for history, that's stupid.
He's trying to paint me that I am complaining on behalf of black people when I'm saying we should continue to teach these things.
Yeah, do you ever hear like Ben Shapiro?
He's trying to say what?
When Ben Shapiro complains about systematic racism, he says that people are trying to make us believe that this country is built on like racism and slavery.
But it was.
Yeah, it literally was.
And
we can enjoy the benefits of that and acknowledge we should never do that again, which is all we're asking. We're just asking to be aware of what happened so we never do it again.
Aware and like let's give them some like
right. They deserve reparations.
Yeah, like and I don't even think
100%
reparations
pro
like
reparations.
give everyone, like here's $15 or whatever. Like that's really dumb.
It has to be something to try to some kind of effort to reduce the effects of systematic racism.
Rebuild inner city infrastructure.
That would be real reparations.
Neighborhoods.
Yeah, don't give someone money. Like actually fix where they live. Yeah.
I don't want to give any citizen money. I don't care what color or whatever they are. That's fucking retarded. Like,
so this guy's just trying to say that because the Native Americans aren't native to this land, it was okay to commit genocide on them. He's also saying that they brought their own slaves on the Trail of Tears. Okay. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well,
why is that important?
When he says they, he means some of them.
And why is that relevant?
Right.
Okay.
Right, the wealthy ones.
And
like it's all
right. No, it's the people who basically become Americanized anyway.
It still happened, and we tried to commit commit genocide against Native Americans.
Really, my main thing is that I'm like not for genocide. Like I'm pretty against genocide.
And this guy's trying to like say that I said that the white man is evil, which I never said.
Right.
I'm trying to complain about how
you're complaining about getting rid of it from history books.
Yeah, they're literally trying to erase history.
No one should be for that.
Right. But he's trying to say that I'm against...
And also...
that I'm against... I'm trying to side with black people, and I'm just complaining. And that, just because black people were able to own other black people, slavery was okay and not racist.
Right.
The thing is...
But it is because most of the slaves, a huge majority of slaves were owned by white people.
Yeah.
White people. And they were continued to be killed and forced into slavery well after the Civil War.
Yeah.
For 100 years after the Civil War. I don't know what you're trying to say here. You're retarded. You're trying to make me look like a retard, but you actually made yourself look like one.
That's what I was talking about. It's hard to bring people together and agree when half the people try to justify weird shit and just have weird beliefs about history in general.
And a lot of this racism, like especially this and reparations and stuff, it comes from they're afraid of black people.
Yeah.
Like they don't hate black people because it's not as cut and dry as people like to make it.
Right.
They're afraid of them because they know we fucked up.
They're not 100% Disney villains, but like, yeah, they can't admit though. Like they can't admit that they're racist and they want to justify all these things.
Most of my dad's family is like that.
Yeah.
Like
they just like try to justify why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Instead of just admitting that we made a mistake one time.
It's like we fucked up. Like,
yeah, it was an oopsie. And also, that wasn't me, all right? I don't claim responsibility for that, right? So you don't have to be like, oh, that's my team. I'm one of the... No, just be like, that was in the past, man. But part of that
fix
is...
it and
part of
move
that
on.
Is making that better.
Right.
You have to make it better.
So he also said, did you know there's not a race in the history of the world that hasn't experienced what you just described? So still doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, I fail to see.
And we're here now. You're benefiting from white society. I am, and I think that's horrible that I have a leg up in society just because that's why I'm saying don't get rid of that.
Yeah.
And he's stop whining. I don't. What are you trying to? What the fuck is going on in your brain?
When is it whining and when is it standing up against the government, standing up for your rights, standing up as an American citizen, being patriotic, telling the president to go fuck himself? Which is, Republicans should agree with that too, because they fucking shit on Obama every day. So still, it's like he hasn't even been president in 4 years. He's still shitting on him. So
yeah.
Oh wow! I also responded. Oh, did you also forget about how the KKK and other white people would lynch and beat up black people for fun in the early to late 1900s? He said, oh, how could I forget they were Democrats? Okay. It's still wrong.
It was like I think we're going through another party flip right now. Not a flip necessarily, but
we could.
Both are shifting. They're shifting hard.
Yeah. I honestly, part of why I want to, I mean, I've said this before, but I want to get rid of the Electoral College because I want Republicans to try something that would actually win people over instead of just trying to appeal to people who live in the middle of nowhere.
Get rid of first to the finish. Go to
I'm going to reply
and go to
ranked choice would be so
get
dope.
rid of the Electoral College. Yeah. And I think we will have like just some weirdo the first time, but I think that weirdo might actually do some good shit.
Yeah, I'm going to reply to what he said about they were Democrats. I said doesn't make it right, and obviously there's been a party shift.
Yeah,
they weren't actual Democrats. They weren't today's Democrats.
We'll just be like, okay, fine. You agree with Democrats then. You only agree with Democrats when it's about killing black people. Mic drop. I'm ending this fucking podcast.
Should I say that?
Yeah.
You only care about Democrats?
You don't like Democrats when it's about... Yeah, say it. He'll get mad at you.
What should I say? Doesn't make it right.
He's going to act like a little bitch baby no matter what.
What should I say?
Republicans are a bunch of pussy-ass little bitches.
Let me see what he said. Let me read what he said. I do better when I can read it.
Okay.
Look.
Okay, so... Oh, did you forget? How could I forget they were Democrats?
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him that you need to stop being a little snowflake bitch. No, just tell him... Just say what I originally said about Democrats.
Should I just say that?
But look, yeah. It doesn't need to be anything. It doesn't need to be complicated. The best owns are always short owns.
You agree
Shu had one of those
with Democrats?
Some guy was like bitching about the fact that he doesn't get to go on any of these big group leftist podcasts that they've been having. Like all these big leftists are getting together.
Yeah.
And someone asked, like, she screenshot it and posted it, and someone asked her, they're like, who is this, Shu? And she just said, nobody.
Okay, so I said,
Awesome.
I said, so the only time you agree with Democrats was when they were killing black people?
He already replied. He said yes.
I just sent.
All I want to say is that Republicans are a bunch of little bitch baby, crybaby pussy boys. And the popular thing I got retweeted a few times is a Trump supporter coming up to someone on the news, and he's like,
Trump just pardoned Keith Rayner?
Who?
I don't know.
He goes up to some like newscaster and he's like, hey, and he goes, hey, how you doing? And he's like, is this fake news? He goes, hey, fuck off. And then he just turns around and leaves. And then he goes back to reporting the news.
President. We're doing is, we're looking, I know about thumbs off. So here's the statement.
In the name of liberalism. Oh. Wait, what is this?
Those are Antifa.
Yeah, that's Antifa, but what is this?
It's a Ronald Reagan quote.
No, I know, but what?
But,
but like,
okay.
what is?
What's the Ronald Reagan quote?
It's someone said truer words.
Yeah, and it's Ronald Reagan saying,
if fascism ever comes to America, it will come in the name of liberalism.
Right,
and Antifa are literally anti-fascists.
Well, because people think fascism means like, I don't know what they think. They just think it's like bad.
So the thing is with the Cold War propaganda that our schools gave out for, the Cold War was what, 50 years or whatever. They told everyone, because they were freaking out about communism, that Nazis and communists were on the same side and left wing. Even though communists fought Nazis just the same as we did, because no one liked the idea that Nazis had.
Nazis were far-right fascists.
They were... Well, the thing is, they weren't even... He wasn't far-right. He was pure authoritarian. He had a lot of liberal ideas. Adolf Hitler was a vegetarian. He advanced animal rights. He advanced a good deal of liberal rights.
You would say those things... I don't know. I don't think
those... He
hooked
the right-wing people in Germany. There's a reason he had so much support in Germany. Is because he really helped those people, minus the Jews, who they already kind of hated anyway. Just like we hate... we have our right wing hates black people.
We kind of already hated Mexicans. Already.
Yeah, it'd be like if a president came up and gave us the best infrastructure, free college, free healthcare, all that, and they were like, and it's kind of the Mexicans' problem, right? And it's shit, this guy's got everything else right so far. It is kind of the Mexicans' problem, and that's the problem, is that Adolf Hitler wasn't necessarily super right wing, and he wasn't necessarily super left wing.
But the Nazi
he was just had a death grip on the country of Germany.
The Nazi movement was pure authoritarian fascism.
Yeah,
and people just think they see fascism. They just think it's violent and bad, and it's you could say Antifa's. They're not fascists, but they're not even sometimes they're violent, but
they're occasionally violent. But that's really media bias.
You could say the cops are violent, and that's actual an authoritarian group. And
I shared an article on Facebook a few weeks ago of there's a lot of in the police. There's lots of sub gangs where they will set hazing to where you have to do this certain thing to get to be part of the group. You have to beat the shit out of somebody or something, and then you're allowed to be part of these
so weird
gangs, and it's a big thing in LA. There's a few of them.
Yeah,
and it's
fucking weird.
It's fucked up because the police is just a new gang.
And, I mean, this is it's literally nothing new either. That's the worst part. We've been dealing with this shit forever, and people are just still defending it. The cops could never do something wrong ever.
I like a lot of cops, like individuals.
Yeah.
Not departments. But
I don't like the system. Again.
The system, yeah.
Yeah.
The system's fucked up. But people know cops, and then they're like, well, my baby Andrew wouldn't do that. And it's maybe he wouldn't. Maybe Andrew is the one good cop in the LA police department. Or maybe he's part of a gang where he has to beat the shit out of somebody.
Maybe you just don't know.
You don't know. We gotta look into this shit.
We need to hold people. Hey, man, we have these laws where if you do something bad, you go to jail. It's a deterrent, so you don't do something bad. So why don't we have deterrents for the cops where something bad happens if you break the law? Why are they just above the law?
Why do their unions get so much power?
Yeah.
Why do I'm pro-union.
Yeah.
The police union is the one union that I know of, at least.
Well, they have
where I'm
they have way too much power.
That's way too much because they're a government organization with the union.
Most unions wouldn't do if you just literally do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. You would if there's things you can do to get fired. Cops can't get fired, and they can literally break the law, which is even crazier.
Fired, they can get a job somewhere else doing the same work.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's weird. And also, some cops will just work security on the side also. They just have two jobs.
Not just that, but if you get, say, in St. Louis, the guy who shot Michael Brown.
Yeah.
He just went and worked at a different police department.
Yeah.
He doesn't work in Ferguson anymore. He just works.
Yeah, they just moved him.
They just moved him.
And that was just so that they wouldn't get in trouble politically. So.
Yeah. They would have kept him.
Yeah. No, if there wasn't media coverage on half this shit, nothing would happen. No one would get in trouble. Because
that happens already.
It
comes out, it's wait, he's done this how many times? And they're 7. He shot 7 black guys in cold blood. And it's really? And he still works for Ferguson, Missouri.
People just cared this time.
Yeah.
And then It gets thrown out of court. They never go to court. Never go to court.
I watched a video years ago. It's one of the things that like really, when I was a kid, it was one of those like live leak kind of things that you see when you're a kid, of 2 cops tasing a schizophrenic man to death. They just had him on the ground. They just kept tasing him.
Yeah.
And
I've seen something like that.
And
actually, I've probably seen that same exact one.
And I discovered it after, it was a couple of years after it happened, but then I saw it the same month that they got acquitted and kept their jobs in that, I think it was the LA Police Department.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucked up. Like,
yeah, they can just do whatever the fuck they want. It literally doesn't matter. Don't call the police. So anyway, I'm gonna end this podcast now.
all right.
Remember?
Okay.
Oh,
comment, like, and
so,
comment.
hold on.
Comment your first cum experience. Please tell me the first time you ever came in the comments. Thank you.
Hold on. So, last episode, whatever, we came up with my catchphrase. I want to say that was non-canon.
What?
That is not a part of the
Babooga
podcast.
is not canon?
Babooga, I do not like that catchphrase.
Oh no! I was so ready to be. I was gonna make the Babooga T-shirts and everything.
No, I have a better catchphrase. Gabadooey.
I'm sticking with Babooga.
No, that is non-canon. That is not a part of the Wasteland canon. What is canonical? Gabadooey.
I was Gabadooey better than Babooga.
Babooga, you can't.
So much
End it now, Tyler. End it.
No. Hold on. Let me explain why it's so bad. Babooga, you can't. It doesn't sound like you're like Babooga.
I love Babooga.
You have to go Gabadooey. It sounds like better when you're celebrating. Gabadooey.
That sounds like what Jawas say in Star Wars.
Yeah, I like Babooga better.
Babooga.
Fine, we'll keep it canon.
There's
Babooga is canon.
There's 2 catchphrases for Shane.
Oh, that is okay. It is now canon.
Comment which one you like more, Babooga or Gabadooey.
Gabadooey or Babooga. A Twitter poll? No one answers my Twitter
Mine,
polls.
I'll answer it.
My catchphrase is my catchphrase is women. You can't live with them. You can't live with them.
I think I should have 2 catchphrases. Babooga, Gabadooey.
Yeah.
Whichever one's more liked, I'll say more often. But I do like Gabadooey.
Well,
Gabadooey, everyone. Gabadooey.
Babooga to everyone. Good. God bless us, every Babooga of one of us.
And you can't live with women.
Gabadooey.
Well, if it isn't my arch enemy, DJ Scratches. Look, man, that was years ago, and the only reason we were rap nemesis is because the studios wanted us to be, man. Look, neither one of us is even signed anymore. I say we put our differences behind us, combine forces, and make the best rap album ever. Yeah, it's crazy enough to work, man.
Big black chick, how much you want?